his famous Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said in Matthew 5:48, "You therefore must be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect." Many Latter-day Saints appeal to this passage, claiming that this teaches that we will be exalted to godhood, that what Heavenly Father is now, we can become. And in fact, that we are commanded to do so, that it is our purpose to attain to this perfection of God's nature, to be like Him in every way. Is this what Jesus was teaching here? In fact, no. When we look at the context, the perfection that we are commanded here, the specific way we are told to be like our Father, is much more specific. It is a great challenge that the Christian needs to hear and take seriously, but it has nothing to do with a created being becoming uncreated, with a finite being becoming infinite. These logical impossibilities are not what God is commanding. We will not become God, but we are to become like God in a specific way. But let's look at the context, follow Jesus' argument, and see what it is that he's saying. Going back to verse 43, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy.' But I say to you, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven. For He makes the sun rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the just and the unjust." So when we stop here and look, we're told to imitate God in what specific way? Love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you, and then you will be sons of your Father. Well, think about in the old world, if the father is a carpenter, the son's going to be a carpenter. If the father's a priest, the son is a priest. You imitate your father. In what way are we to imitate God? Well, just as the Father shows love even to those who are unjust, we are to show love even to those who are unjust towards us, who are our enemies. Love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven. For He makes His sun rise on the evil and the good, and sends His rain on the just and the unjust. For if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet only your brothers, what more are you doing than others? Do not even the Gentiles do the same? You therefore be perfect, as your Father in heaven is perfect. We are called to a perfect love, a love that shows no bias, no favoritism, a love that is bestowed even on the wicked. How do I know I'm reading this right? Well, Matthew's not the only one who reports this sermon. In Luke chapter 6, we read these words of Jesus. Luke communicates it to us in a way that's worded slightly different, but says the same thing. We read in Luke 6, beginning at verse 32, "If you love those who love you, what benefit is that to you? For even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who do good to you, what benefit is that to you? For even sinners do the same. And if you lend to those from whom you expect to receive, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners and get back the same amount. But love your enemies and do good and lend expecting nothing in return. And your reward will be great, and you will be sons of the Most High, for He is kind to the grateful and the evil. Be merciful, as your Father in heaven is merciful." You see, the perfection that Matthew is talking about is a perfect mercy. Be merciful and be perfect are synonyms. This has nothing to do with us changing from men into gods, but this has to do with imitating the perfect love of our Heavenly Father, who bestows His common grace, His daily mercies on even the wicked, on even the unjust, and we are to do the same.